All right, so let's start with the basic functions. We'll start with the first chapter, formatting and navigation, part 1. To select the entire sheet, you can press Ctrl A. If you have a table in the spreadsheet, I will first select the entire table. You can press Ctrl A again to select the entire sheet. To bold, you can press Ctrl B. You can have multiple cells selected in the selection and press Ctrl B again to bold everything in the selection. Similarly, you can use Ctrl I for italics and Ctrl U for underlining. You always also have a shortcut, Ctrl 2, 3, 4, which does the same thing. So if you want to quickly format a header, you can just press Ctrl 2, 3, and 4 in a row, which will allow you to bold, italic, and underline the contents of this selection. For the copy-paste function, you can copy any cell and data in any cell, and then you can go to a different cell where you want to paste the content, and you can press Ctrl V. Ctrl D function helps you copy the contents of the cell which are right above it. For example, if I'm on cell B22 and I want to copy the content from cell B21, I have two ways. Either I can do Ctrl C and then Ctrl V, or alternatively, I can just press Ctrl D and copy anything that is right above. Or I can even make a whole selection and press Ctrl D, which will allow me to copy all the contents of the cell right above my selection. You can use the Ctrl F function to find any text and in a spreadsheet or the entire workbook. So let's say in this example, I want to look up the name John. I'll type in John and press enter. That will quickly bring me to the respective cell where we have the word John. You can also use shortcut Ctrl H to replace any text with another text. So in this example, if I want to replace the name John with a Mark, I can simply type in Find John, replace with Mark, and hit Replace All, and that will replace the name in the entire spreadsheet. Ctrl K allows you to add a hyperlink to your spreadsheet. So if I press Ctrl K, I have an option to hyperlink any file that is already on my computer. I also have an option, create a hyperlink for another spreadsheet within the same workbook. For example, if I click on Calculations, Uninsert. OK. This will allow me to simply click and go to the third tab via hyperlink. Hyperlinks can also be used to link a website. Text to display. The address is shortcutcubes.com, and when I click on it, I'll be able to go to my website. Then you can use the shortcut Ctrl L to create a table. You can use the Ctrl T shortcut to select the table and press Enter, which will allow you to convert any select table into a tabular format. If you want to change the colors, you can use any of the colors from the selections above. To open a new workbook, you would use the shortcut Ctrl N that will allow you to open a new workbook. To open a file, you would use shortcut Ctrl O that will allow you to open any of the existing files you might be using. To close the file, you simply use the shortcut Ctrl W that will close any open Excel file. Ctrl P will allow you to go to Print Preview, or you can also use Ctrl F2 to look at the print preview. On the left side, you will have functionalities to allow you to modify the settings, which we will discuss on the advanced tutorials. Whenever you're working on Excel, make sure that when you have completed substantial work, you always press Ctrl Save to make sure you never lose the data. You also have functionality of autosave feature, which you can modify, but it's always a good practice to save the file after by simply pressing Ctrl S when you have completed substantial work. Often you're working on large files, and there's a possibility that the tool may crash and you may lose the data. Whenever you use a Ctrl C function to copy your data, you can simply press Ctrl V, paste the contents of the cell. However, if you don't want to copy the data but just want to cut and paste the contents of the cell, then you would use the function Ctrl X. And then you can press Ctrl V, paste the contents of the cell into and replace. That's your cut and paste function. If I want to go back to what I did previously, I will simply press Ctrl Z, which is your undo function, which is going back to the previous tape. I can continue to press Ctrl Z and go back to undo all the changes which I did. If I want to redo those changes, I will use the function Ctrl Y, which will allow me to continuously toggle through the changes which are already pre-saved within the Excel. Ctrl 5 allows you to strike through format on any text. You can do that on one cell or you can do that on multiple cells. That's all for now. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.